I thought I would answer some questions that I see on Avatar Nutrition practically on a daily basis. Now, obviously, I'm not a scientist. I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years, so I do have some knowledge. I train regularly myself. Hopefully, just by answering these questions, it might be able to help some of you. So the first question that I've got is about cheat meals. So I saw a question on Avatar today, and somebody said, what do you do about having a cheat meal? The whole point of flexible dieting is that you don't have cheat meals. You don't see any food as good or bad, and by counting your macros daily, you can enjoy something sweet or what people say bad every day if that's what you want to do. So you don't have to have a cheat meal. So the whole mindset of cheating and doing something wrong is taken away from you just by being flexible. So just for example, say you were going out for a meal with your partner for your birthday. So in the morning, just have, maybe just have a shake, like some calories, but just make sure that you get your protein in there and your micronutrients, and then just have a smaller lunch. And then what you do is you can save your calories, and then in the evening, if you want to go out and have like a proper meal and a dessert and maybe a couple of glasses of wine or whatever you choose to, you can have it because it will still fit within your macros. And that's the whole thing about flexible dieting and how useful it can be, is the fact you don't have to cheat. Okay, the next question. I've seen this countless times. I've gone over my macros for the day. Should I cut out the same amount of macros for tomorrow? Really, if you go over your macros for one day, if it's just one day, it's not really going to make much difference, is it? And you can't catch up. You can't make up macros or catch up macros, however you want to see it. Basically, just put it down to a bad day and just start again in the morning. It really isn't going to make much difference. If you have 2 or 3 days, yeah, then maybe it will make a difference. But then again, just mark yourself as non-compliant when you come to your weigh-in and start again the next week. Another one I saw. Yes. Okay, so thinking about hitting your protein targets and spacing your macros throughout the day. So the way I look at it is you've got 3 macronutrients. You've got your fats, which are primarily for regulating your hormones. You've got your protein, which is to rebuild and recover, and you've got your carbs, which are for energy. So personally, I think it's a good idea to keep your carbs around your workouts if possible, because then you're going to utilize that energy and you're going to use it. You're going to need the energy, especially if you're doing some really heavy lifts. And I'd stay away from fats around your workouts because fats are a bit harder to digest. So maybe have your fats and protein for breakfast if you're training in the afternoon. Have some carbs and your protein for lunch. And then you'll be able to utilize those carbs in the afternoon when you do your workout. So basically, just center your carbohydrates around your workouts if you can. And then, if you can't, it's still not a big deal. Don't overthink things and just take each day as it comes and you'll be fine. But you will find that if you use your carbs, you eat your carbs around your workouts, then your workouts will turn out better. You'll perform better because obviously carbohydrates are an energy source. Of course, your protein. Now, you can't really eat all your protein at one meal. One, it would be very difficult because it's very dense and very filling. And 2, you need to eat a little bit of protein throughout the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, Avatar leaders, but I believe, from what I've read, you need to have your protein spaced out equally throughout the day to promote protein synthesis. And also, because protein is dense and it's got a high satiety level, you don't want to be eating loads and loads of it at one meal. So again, think of your fats as controlling your hormones, your protein building and recovering, and your carbohydrates as energy. So I hope that helps you. The next one, what was I going to say? Body fat measurements. So a really good example of this is I've been using my scales to measure my body fat throughout my avatar journey. I was on a lean muscle gain and I've been on a cut for about 3 weeks. So basically I'm a very little person. I weigh 107 pounds at the moment. That's about 47, 48 kilos. And it was telling me that my scales were telling me that my body fat was nearly 30%. So really what I should have done earlier is what I have done now, which is implement the method that is on Avatar Nutrition. And you have a choice of measuring 3 points on your body or 6 points. So all I've done is I've done the 3 points. It's just down below your neck, your waist and your hips, and that gave me a body fat reading of 21.6%. So I've used that method, and also whatever method you use, stick with it, you know, use it continuously. Another one, I think I've got one more I was going to say, yes. I've seen a lot of people and read a lot of people's comments on the Facebook page. For instance, I've been on Avatar for 1 week and nothing's changed. I don't know what to do. I haven't lost any weight. Okay, so this system is absolutely brilliant, but you do have to give it a few weeks to settle down and see, and it will adjust accordingly depending on what happens to you and how you react to it. So don't keep changing your settings or thinking you've failed or anything like that. Just what you want to do is you just want to stick with it. You know, stick with it for at least 6 weeks before you decide that it's not for you. It can be grueling for some people counting macros, but once you've got the hang of it, it's easy. It's literally, it takes me a few seconds to add all my macros for meals. And then what happens is you do find that you tend to eat the same things anyway, so that it will, especially in MyFitnessPal, and then you can just multi-add, like for breakfast, and it will give you a choice, and then you just add that every day if that's what you have every day. Those are the few questions that I've read on the Facebook page that I thought it would be useful to help you with. Happy to answer any questions if you want to message me. But again, remember, I'm not a scientist. I'm a personal trainer. I have been for over 10 years, and I think that I do know the basics of flexible dieting. I hope you found that useful, and like I said, if there's any more questions or if I can help anybody with anything, I'm happy to oblige.